Okay, once we get started, Papa, gonna need quietness. Hey there!
Bonnie, we did it. We're both on. Yay!
Woohoo! Now, Griff should be here any minute now. He said he got the link, so we should be good to go.
Good.
I did a little deal with Marianne today. We redid the WordPress tutorial simply because the other WordPress tutorial was not functioning.
Oh.
For whatever reason, the file just kept saying error. So we said, okay, well, so we redid another one, and I'll have that link for you later this evening.
Okay, I'll get it up there either before or the next webinar. I got one at 10.
Yeah, well, I hear that, but I'll go in and I have to go in and edit. There was a big space while I was waiting for her to get on. So I have to edit that little, like, 10 minutes off the front so people have to sit there and watch me just looking at the screen.
Well, you know, it's live and learn. We're getting better. At least we got both of us on this time. Hopefully Griffiths are going to be on too.
Yep. He says it hasn't finished verifying. He says it's been verifying for the last 5 minutes.
Oh, no. What's it verifying?
I don't know.
My fingers are so sore from crashing into things when you're cleaning. Oh, man. They're just raw. Raw.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm not a big fan of moving or packing.
Well, I didn't think I'd have to do this, quite frankly. I thought we were there until we had the final move to the new house, but it's gotta happen.
Stuff happens.
Yeah.
Stuff happens.
Life is what happens between all the plans we make.
Yep. Oh, looks like, ooh. Griffith has joined this webinar.
All right.
As soon as he turns on his little, Griff, say something. He's not fully here. Right now, it's just his icon is here. But we're making progress. He hasn't actually shown up in the list of attendees. He's just shown up with his little icon between your icon and my icon.
Yeah, I see that. Well, he's the center of attention.
Yeah, well. Actually, you know, it's really funny because Griffith's a little shy.
Okay, I'm not hearing anything.
Oh, wait.
Now we hear you.
You hear me yakking.
Test.
Hey, Griff. So are you going to be the icon all night?
We're not going to see you? You're not going to let us see your beautiful face? Can you hear us? I'm shaking my ice. Hello?
Hello, Griff. Can you hear us? We can hear you.
Test.
Yes, we hear you.
Speakers, high definition codecs. Test.
Yes, we hear you.
Test. Signal, digital signal. Test. USB headset. That's,
Skype them, let them know that we can hear
I
them.
am.
Okay.
I sent 4 Skype messages. You ought to have gotten some by now. We may be having headset issues, maybe. I don't know.
Well, he can come over to your house.
Yeah. Oh, he went out. He's going to try and come back in. Yeah, that's kind of a long commute. I think he's. It's hard to say where Griff is at any given time, but last I heard, I think he was up in Wisconsin.
Mm.
So.
Racine, Wisconsin.
Yeah. The land of cheese.
Ever seen Michael Nesmith's Elephant Parts? It was one of the, I think it is the very first music video.
No, can't say
Yeah.
I ever have.
Oh, you got to see it. It's really funny. And they have a skit on Racine, Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. There he is again. Looks like Ken is here. Hey, Ken. Jeanette is here, and Griff actually showed up in the list this time. Cool.
Indeed. Oh yeah, look at them all. Wow, there's all kinds of people there. Greg's there.
Ken and Jeanette and Griff.
Australia.
where's
Jenny.
Ken?
Yeah, Griff, we can hear you.
Test, test, test.
Okay. I still don't think he can hear us.
Okay. Mixer. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test.
Yes, we can hear you, Griff.
Test, test, test.
Maybe
Test,
we
test,
can chat
test.
to them there. Chat on the oh, he
Test,
won't
test,
do
test.
that probably.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll see us on the chat or not. I'll try.
I'm getting no sound. Polls, candies, pop-ins, videos.
Can you hear me munching? Griff, Earth to Griff. Tell him to check his
Okay.
earphones.
Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Oh, here we go. I got sound.
You got
Anybody
sound.
hear
Oh.
Can anybody hear me out there?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
I'll be darned.
Can you hear us?
The first time I've used these guys. You hear me
We can
still?
hear you.
We can hear you moving. We can hear
All
you
right.
whether you're standing up or sitting down.
Well, I see you, Gary, and I see Bonnie, but I don't see my screen. Now I gotta find my screen here. All right.
We thought you were
chat.
being shy.
Of course I'm shy. That's what it's all about. All right, let's see here. I got a blank screen here. Let's
Well,
see if
we're
I-
seeing this really cute little icon of this little blue-headed guy here. Oops, something's changed.
Now you're just a green square. Oh, look, he's putting a screen in there.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, he's going to hide.
Well, I cover all my cameras. I don't trust the government watching me.
Oh.
Hey, wait a second. How did you get me in there?
I don't know. That's where you were at. Okay. So you mean I can't do this class naked? Oh my gosh.
No, sorry.
I put a shirt on.
I put a shirt on. I think I have fun with it. All right, let's see if I can get up something here for us to look at while we're getting our students together.
Yeah, okay, so right now we've got 4 students here. We have Craig and Jeanette and Ken and Marianne. Hi, y'all. Glad to see you here.
In a moment, I will have something here for everybody to see.
Woohoo! All right. So, and in a little bit, we'll just kind of turn it all over to you, Griff, and you can pull that screen up full screen. And
all right.
And when do you want to officially start? We're at the top of the hour on my clock. You want to give another couple
let's give it about 2 or 3 more minutes, and then.
And you'll press play for the start, or?
Yeah, well, we already have. In order to let people into the room, we have to press play. That's why I have to always edit the beginning of our broadcast. Otherwise,
Clean up all this stuff.
So we get all this chat going on back and forth here. And Griff's test.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see anything now? Can you see my agenda for the class?
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Good job.
That's not too bad.
Hi, Marianne.
Okay, so, and
how do you turn off me?
How do I turn off you?
You can do it on your end.
Video? What,
Oh, you're welcome, Jeanette. Glad to help.
Oh, I didn't want to do that. You. Oh, I guess that's me up there, camera. Oh, there I go. I'm going to go to sleep. No, I'm only kidding.
So what's the weather like in Dominican Republic today, Gary?
Wow, is it hot and sweaty?
Yeah, well, pretty much the same here in North Carolina. Hot and sweaty.
I was asking about the weather outside, not the weather inside.
Both.
Yeah. Well, I'm in Phoenix today. It's about 111.
Oh,
shade.
yeah.
It was 101 here at 11 o'clock this morning.
Oh,
okay.
I think I was only 90.
So you're in Carolina, so that's definitely a lot more humid.
Yeah, it's a lot more humid, so my 101 probably is real close to your 111.
And my 90 is even closer because it's really humid.
It's humid?
Yeah, you got real humidity there.
We had a 6.0 Richter scale tremor today.
Oh, really?
Around 4:30, I guess, 4:35, and I didn't notice it, but Diana called in a panic. Did you hear it? Did you see it shake the building?
Quakes do happen out that way. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, usually in Haiti, they get it all. Yeah. Such an evil place.
Okay, well, so far we've got 4 people here, and we're not going to keep those 4 people waiting. I think that we just get started, and anybody who misses it could just hit the replay.
Yep.
Down the road. Yes?
Go.
Okay.
1 second. I should probably figure out how to do the recording.
No, it's already on.
Recording's taken care of.
You did? Fantastic. Yes. See, I've been getting used to using the GoTo meeting so much, I've been screwing that up a little bit on this one here. Yeah. All right, so let's go back to my handout, and we'll get started here.
All right, so hold on just a second. Let's do intros all the way around. Gary, you want to get this party started?
I sure do. It's certainly a pleasure to be here this evening, and I have 2 speakers that will be presenting for us, and I will introduce Marketing with Bonnie. Bonnie's done an awesome job for the last 5 weeks, sharing wonderful information for our blogger sites and teaching us all this neat stuff. And Griff has consented to come on board as well, and Bonnie's going to give you a little background because they have been working together for a long time. So over to you, Bonnie. Yeah,
Griff and I, Griff, how long has it been? What, 13 years, something like that? Pretty
close. It was, well, since we worked on that Light Millionaire Institute class. Remember we worked on some stuff with Zango as part of the class.
So, yeah, so it's been about 13 years that we've known each other. We've worked on a number of different things together. Griff actually was a student of mine for a while. I taught a class for Enlightened Millionaires, and we had a lot of fun with that. And then we got involved in more than one joint venture together, and we've done all kinds of cool things like go to CEO space together, and we have had opportunities to see each other in action, so to speak. And so I can tell you that Griff is super geek. The guy knows more about computers than most people have forgotten, and he understands all kinds of wonderful computer languages and all of that. Has worked doing security for banks for years, and as well as helping marketing clients, online website clients, that sort of thing, and has really made a name for himself online. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to him, but I just want you to say, prick up your antenna here and pay attention, because the things that he's going to teach you are things that are going to be extremely useful in your life online if you really want people to come and see your site and find you online. So, Griff, take it away.
Well, thanks, Bonnie. Again, my name is Griffith, and I'm going to add a little bit more to your introduction to me. Yes, I did start using the internet before Al Gore invented it. Back then it was called ARPANET. I got a chance to touch it a little bit, but I did a lot of work for IBM, and they had back then what's known commonly as bulletin boards, and we used to, at IBM, create a bulletin board which had a forum for people to add comments, ask questions, download software updates. And I also worked on other bulletin boards, and eventually those bulletin boards wanted to talk to each other, and that's kind of how the commercial side of the internet got started, combined with the ARPANET that the government and a lot of the colleges were using. My experiences with Bonnie included, like we mentioned, the first class with her. She had an excellent idea to how to teach a class, and that is sign up for an MLM, and we'll use our what we learned from Bonnie to sell product on the internet. And she didn't say it specifically, but it was kind of a goal that whoever at the end of the class had the most sales was the winner of the little competition. So our product that I was with in her class was Zango, and so right away I started looking for domain names to create my website and to sell my product using her techniques. Realized that there was a lot of the Zango names were taken, so I found a specific one which we're going to talk about, and using her techniques I got to the point where my Zango website was on top of the search engines above the main one. Well, that's kind of a bad thing, because these companies spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on SEO, and if you get somebody out there like one of their affiliates that's got a higher position on the internet than their main site, there's problems. And I soon got some letters saying I should take the word Zango out of my domain name and out of my website. Well, eventually I had to give up my website because it was just too embarrassing to the people, corporate people, having it above their website on the name search engines. So one of the things I did learn from this was how to get myself higher on the search engines, and using her techniques and a few other ones we kind of bumped into, and that's kind of what I'm going to go over today. I'm not a very good sales guy. I'm not even in the same league as Gary, and marketing was kind of a foreign concept for me until I met Bonnie. So I did pick up a book called Guerrilla Marketing, and I'm going to go through that a little bit here. And essentially, what guerrilla marketing is kind of a takeoff of guerrilla warfare. It's basically using with little technique, little money, little resources, little budgets, taking
Griff,
on the big guys.
Griff,
Yes.
Can I interrupt for just a moment?
Am I too fast?
Would you like to go ahead and, if you go to the left-hand side of the page with your mouse, there's a little sidebar that's going to pop up. Would you click on the screen share and do a full page screen share, because it's really small.
Okay, let's see if I can find that on here. Okay, screen share on the left-hand bar. Is that the one here?
Yep.
Was it Webinar Jam or is it something else?
No, it's in Google Plus.
Oh, there it is. Okay. You're saying it's too small?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not getting anything there. Okay, here we go. Oh, full screen 1, full screen 2.
Yes.
See how this works. Does that look any better? Not hear anything?
Show us the page that you were showing us before.
That's what I'm looking for, how to get back in there again. Okay. Right, I'm not seeing that. There we go. And okay, is this any better? Let's try this other. This is the third option. There's 3 options. Is this any better at all? See, I can't preview from here. I'm not seeing a preview. How about we detach sidebar? All right. So, Bonnie, is it looking any better at all?
I'm not seeing it right at the moment.
Okay. Let's try this. Apologize, everyone. We thought we had this set up, but
It's okay. Not your fault. And it might just be me. Am I the only one that's thinking?
Gary, can you chime in here?
I could use a bigger screen.
Okay, so how am I going to make it bigger here? Let's find that out. Okay. Well.
Okay, well, never mind. Just go ahead. Go back to what you were doing.
How about this one? Is it any better?
Right now, what we're seeing is Google Plus.
Just whatever you did at the very last there before it changed again, it was big.
Okay, this is. I just made it as big as I can possibly make it here with the webinar thing.
Okay, good, perfect.
All right, let's go back to. We're talking about guerrilla marketing. How's this look on there right now? Looking better?
It's fine.
Okay. So guerrilla marketing basically is, again, it's sometimes spelled like the animal, sometimes it's spelled like the warfare technique, where it's basically using unconventional means, unconventional budget, small budgets, and in my case, how much I can do for free to take on the big guys that got $100,000 budgets or higher. And well, this is kind of there's a book out there written by J. Conrad Levison, and it's a good read. It talks about how to take your small marketing staff or yourself and make a maximum impact from what you got. And that's kind of what we wanted to do with SEO. SEO allows you to, and that's the techniques we're teaching you, to use your website with the least amount of expense, cost, and effort to market yourself on the internet with the big guys. To me, being involved with computers as much as I have, making the website was the easiest part. Getting found was the most difficult part. And so that's why I got heavily involved with Bonnie and her group, and now I've realized that we can using that combined with guerrilla marketing techniques, which we're going to teach you today. You can get yourself your website found on the internet, or in our case, we can get ourselves other websites on top of the search engines, which push the negative stuff down to the bottom, which is kind of another part of the goal. So let's getting started with SEO, which is you've probably been hearing from Bonnie, but I want to emphasize very strongly that the technique is keywords are the king on the internet. What is it you're going to use to find yourself is something you should already have an answer to. What words would you put into a search engine to find yourself? Is it going to be, in our case, My Fuel Club, or is it possibly going to be get rebates on fuel, or is it possibly discounted fuel cost. All these are different ways you can find My Fuel Club. If you think about it, you're looking for your own website. So determining what your keywords is going to be the key to getting found on the internet. You want to have your website so when somebody is looking for you and puts a certain keywords in the search engine, they are going to find you at the top of the list. So the keywords are the key to getting found on the internet. And so number one is you need to find your keywords and make use of them. And we will do that. We'll talk to you about how different ways we can get your keywords into the right places so that you get farther up on the internet. By the way, we talked about using Zango and how I took over the Zango search engine optimization. I use 3 keywords. Buy Zango here. I figured most people are going to look for where to buy Zango. They're not going to look for the whole history. They're not going to look for everything else. If they did, they would put other keywords in, and they would probably go to the corporate website. But my keywords were buy Zango here, and that's what got me. But when I put buy Zango to the top of the search engines. So those are 2 just simple keywords. People are not going to put a book in when they look for something. They're just going to put in as brief of keywords as they can find, and you want to make sure you're the ones that's got ownership of those keywords as best as possible. When you have budgets to spend, you can buy AdWords or click ads based on those keywords as well. And what would you use for keywords for click ads? That's something else to think about. And once you decide those keywords, you can use those, incorporate those into your website, and we're going to teach you how to do those for free. And so one of the cheapest, if you want to call it that, expenses, and maybe the minimum expenses you need for taking control of the search engine optimization is your domain name. Believe it or not, your domain name is very important as far as a search engine is concerned. And I'm going to show you a good example of that here very quickly. Let's see if I can switch over to my website here. So the old king of the search engines was Yahoo. And I put in here My Fuel Club. Well, Gary's website, last I checked, shows up. Gary did typically what everybody, about 90% of people do, is they put My Fuel Club all together in one word, and they look for .com. If .com's not available, they take the .net. If .net's not available, they take the .org. Well, he has a wonderful website built up. It's got a lot of keywords in there, and if you put in My Fuel Club in the search engine, again, this is not what most people would, but some would at least look on for a fuel club, Gary's pops up first. What I did and discovered with my Buy Zango here is I couldn't find any My Fuel Club or Buy Zango in a single word. .com. A lot of people have taken that. So I just kicked around some ideas and said, why don't I just take the words and separate them with dashes? And what happened is I discovered by accident that search engines, especially years ago, were stupid. They couldn't figure out that My Fuel Club all together meant the word My, the word fuel, and the word club. They would think it's some kind of misspelling or upset word. So when I put dashes in there, I actually got my keywords into the search engines easier and faster. It could read the word fuel. It could read the word club. And for some strange reason, at that time, myfuelclub.com, which is the website I grabbed, domain name, it would read it faster and it would actually put it up higher in the search engines. So as you can see here on Yahoo, I'm right behind Gary. And all I did was get this domain name and forward it to my affiliate page on Gary's website. That's all I did. Didn't do any other SEO efforts other than just strictly use my domain name, other than the title. I also put some information here in the title, other keywords. That's another part we'll get into a little later on. But the point is using a domain name with dashes between the keywords helps you in the search engines. And so that's where I kicked around the little idea and realized we really need 2 domain names. one for our customers, something that's easy to spell, easy to tell them, easy to figure out, which is what Gary did with myfuelclub.net. And then we need one for the search engines with this words, because you really can't talk to your customers and say, well, put the word my and put a word, the dash, and it's the dash, it's which word, keyword, how to get there. No, that's hard to talk to about customers. But for search engines, it turned out that was a very good way to get your website higher in the search engines. So I'm recommending to people that they have 2 domain names at minimum. One for the customers, you can tell them, and one for the search engines. One of the values of domain names also is you can think of it as a door into your website. So if you'd like 2 doors in your store, so you have a big store and you have 2 doors, you'll get so many people coming in and so many people coming out. But if you had multiple doors, like in a large shopping mall, you're going to get more people coming in and more people coming out. And so that's another little thing why you'd want more than 2 domain names, is maybe one for each door. Domain names cost, right now I'm averaging about $9 a domain name at GoDaddy. There's other places you can get better buys, but most of them are a little more expensive than that. The point is, for $8 to $9, I have a new door for 1 year into my store. So what can I do with more domain names? Well, you can put them into different parts of your website, key on different keywords, and you've actually added more SEO to your website. It's almost as if every one of your pages on your website, and let me bring this up a little bit to kind of demonstrate this. When I click on myfuelclub.net, we get to the main page. Well, every one of these other pages can be potentially a different website. So by making them with its own domain name, you essentially have another website on the internet. And guess what? You've just doubled your access into the website, and you've increased more doors. And what I did was we'll go back here again, I just used my affiliate site. So people go right to my affiliate site and sign up as if I had my own website. Go to remember login, password. And they're going to say, well, I want some more information. I know this is not enough. Well, then they go back to home, and guess what? They end up back on Gary's website. Now, he's not aware that I've just used his website to create my own website. But since he's listening, he probably now aware of it and say, I can do that. So that's another way you can do things as far as using your domain name to increase your selection. Now, I want to point out something about search engines a little bit here. Well, since we're here, Yahoo used to be the main one, right? Today, obviously, Google is. Well, I checked all the websites this morning, and it looks like in the last couple of weeks, my-fuel-club.com has gone down to about the 3rd page. Why, I don't know. It looks like in the last couple of weeks, some people have been doing things with their Fuel Club. I don't know. Is that maybe possibly doing homework from what mine's been teaching them? I don't know. But about 2 or 3 weeks ago, when I checked this on Google, I was right underneath Gary, again with the minimum amount of SEO to it. And now I'm dropping fast on Google. But on Yahoo, I'm still right there, and on Bing, which is Microsoft's website, if I put in my Fuel Club, I should be the same spot as I am in Yahoo. Here I am, right underneath there. He's number 1, I'm number 2. One of the things about the search engines is Google obviously has the bulk of the business, but a lot of people don't like Google. A lot of people are still using their old favorites. So Yahoo and Bing are pretty good, the ones to use. I like the start page because it filters things. It keeps my search private. And last time I checked, I wasn't doing too bad here. They basically use Google, and then they kick out some of the ads intentionally. So a lot of people are so worried about privacy now that they are using alternative search engines, and Startpage is a very popular one. Even though it does use Google, so now I fell down a little bit again here. I was for the last couple of weeks right underneath you, Gary, here. They're starting to use more of these, and what they do is they cut out a lot of the paid ads, or they cut out a lot of the ad clicks on here. So one of the advantages of doing your SEO with using Bonnie's technique is not only are we saving money, but we're going to get through these search engine filter programs that want to block things due to privacy issues, or get rid of the spam. So a lot of people are starting to treat more and more the advertisement ones as spam, although there's a few here that Field Club uses to support their website, as you kind of notice. Okay, so let me go back to my agenda here. I'm going to bring up one of the things I wanted to go through is how in the world can we get some keywords or possibly some help from the search engines. One of the things that helps with SEO, it's as crazy as it sounds, is tell the search engine your website's ready. And how do you do that? Well, put your domain name in there. Believe it or not, that triggers, I don't think you covered this yet, Bonnie, but this is one of the things I learned from you, was sticking your domain name in there, and it actually triggers the search engines to start looking at your website, giving you more attention. So what I would do once a day for a while is I'd put my search engine there, and then I would go into Bing and do the same thing.
Neat.
And then I'd go into Yahoo. Oh, there we go. Somehow I got some other stuff in my buffer here. So my fuel, and when I did this earlier today, it actually went up 2 pages. I mean, 1 page, 2 spots right away on my Google after I did this in Google.
Okay, so let me just say, this is a technique that I taught Griff and the others, and this is kind of in a little bit a cheat. They always tell you, all of the gurus out there will tell you, oh, well, you need to submit your site to the search engines. If you do that, it's going to take you anywhere from 6 weeks to 6 months before the search engines actually get around to putting you onto the search engines. However, when you put in your URL into the search bar, so you put www.globaldebtfreesolutions.com into the search bar, it forces their spider to go to your website, and anytime the spider goes to a website, it automatically sticks it up on the search engines. So within less than 24 hours, you can have yourself registered in the search engines at a higher level than anybody else who tried to register their search engine today. So it's great and it works. Go ahead, Griff.
Yeah, that's a couple things you brought up I was going to mention. We're going to talk a little bit about how to officially register the site, but like this class is going to be full of cheats, because that's kind of what guerrilla marketing is. How can we win this at this game with a few cheats that we can get away with? And this is one of them. Like you mentioned, it kind of forces the web search engine to look for your web domain, and if it didn't find it, it says, oh, somebody's looking for something that I don't have, and I got to go find it. So within the next 24 hours, this domain name is going to be sticking up on a lot of different, and the more search engines, the better. One thing I also learned, Bonnie, I think was from you, is that one search engine sometimes cheats and looks at the other search engine and see what they've got. And so if you're high on Bing, Yahoo and Google kind of naturally bring you up a little bit in the search engine. Same with Yahoo, and then if you go ahead and just type in search engines, you'll see there's pretty close to about a couple hundred at least out there. The best 50 search engines, free search engines, top search engines. You can spend all day looking at search engines. But one of the things is, and Dogpile is another famous one I've been using for years, which is a combination of search engines. So one of the points is when you have a URL and you want to get found right away, try to go as many as you can stand. And if you want to do 50, want to do 100, the more the merrier. That's kind of the cheater way. And we're going to go a little bit how to do the official one on Google.
Let me just say one more thing about that.
Okay.
And that is, if everybody in this class, and I tried to get everybody to go onto My Fuel Club and tell everyone else what their domain name is. And the reason for that, and one of the things we're going to be doing in our future classes where we link all this stuff together, is if everybody went and typed in everyone else's URL into the search engines, and they're getting that many hits from people who are at different IP addresses all over the world, that automatically is like big, huge Google points.
Yeah. However, I also found out I wrote a program to automatically put URLs into search engines every day, and after a while, it kind of hurt me. So it's kind of like we just do it 2 or 3 times. Don't overdo it. So I got to mention that too, because I got burned in the other way on that one. But that's one of the things that you can learn from your search engines is just make use of their needing to find you. Now, again, for my field club, I'm using these keywords. There's obviously a lot of better ones, but one of the things you can also learn from here is the search engine is going to tell you who else is using this, what else is out there. So the field club, I don't remember if that's one of ours or not, but anyway, you can find different websites out here. It'll tell you what website it's looking at when it looks at your keywords. It'll tell you if it's a lot of times you'll like Bonnie mentioned. I am on Bing, but a lot of times, as Bonnie mentioned, on Google, you're going to see the YouTube, anything to do with YouTube with your keywords in it. You're going to see like the blogs that it looks at with your keywords on it. Now this is kind of slick. This has started doing this where it gives kind of a preferred here with a lot of different the different websites, or I mean the different pages, like it's a different setup. Did you do this, Bonnie, set this up this way, or is this because of Google automatically?
Nope, Google.
So last year I had to spend money to make this happen, and I see Google's doing this automatically, which I think is great. Obviously you get, so anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is use Google to find out what it's looking at right now. Like, for instance, to find your keywords, YouTube is a good place. You already went to the YouTube things. It went to obviously your website. I'm looking to see if there's any blogs out here. Here's a gvovideo.com. So there's some place I would look at to put some of my content if I could. There's our Facebook page, and there's a good old rip-off report, which Yelp is a good place to. That's a good place to look at. Pinterest. Did you put Pinterest out there? I didn't see that.
No.
Well, someone put a Pinterest out there, which is good. And some of these, I checked on some of these earlier. These guys are not associated with us. I noticed the rip-off report was. I checked that one too. Xbox achievements. A lot of these are just somebody else has got a field club. So we're competing with another field club out there. I don't know why.
But I doubt that it's the same thing.
That's right. I doubt it's the same thing at all. But and then I checked out this one. This is the same thing. It's somebody else's thing. UFuel. But one of the things, here's gogvo.com. So there's another YouTube knockoff that's trying to compete with us. So these are one of the things you can use. Here's like Yellow Pages. They'll bring you up in the search engine if you can get something out there. Obviously that one costs money. The goal is I'm looking in here, I'm going through the list, I'm looking for blogs, different sites that it looks at. I don't see anything from Twitter, but I'm sure Twitter would be on here if there's a lot of Twitter content out there. So one of the points I'm trying to make is use the search engine, Google in particular, to find out the websites, the blogs, where it's looking right now. That doesn't mean to limit yourself to those. It just gives you an idea what is it that Google's considering very high up in the search engines. By the way, am I talking a little too fast? Or I'm trying to get a lot of content done in a short period of time here. Are we doing okay?
Just fine. I'm a Canadian, so I speak fast anyway. It's cold.
You do, eh?
Yeah. What do you think, eh?
Yeah, no problem. Okay, here is my big guerrilla marketing technique. One that I didn't hear. This is one I didn't learn from Bonnie. This is what I learned on my own because I'm trying to do Bonnie's homework and I'm going, man, what should I use for keywords? I don't know what to do. Oh, I get it. Find my competitors and use them. And let's see, what do we want to find a competitor to? Let's say I'm Coca-Cola, and I'm going to compete against Pepsi, but Pepsi is just beating the crap out of me. So let's go find Pepsi here. So let's say I'm Coca-Cola, and I want to beat Pepsi in the search engine. That's something. So you go out here, and you look at Pepsi, and you try to figure out Oh, I don't want to get into this yet, quite yet. But one of the things is look for some keywords on here. So right now, she's got this goofy little thing here, the website. It doesn't have much content at all, so it's not a really good example after all. But one of the things I wanted to find out is what do they have on their website for content? I guess I picked the wrong one. So let's try a different, better example. I'm sorry about that. I thought it was a good example. Let's go to Google. So we're looking for, say, we got to type it right. That would help. Okay, so I'm looking for cola drink. And there's it talks about cola. There's Coca-Cola formula. Who's the hot one here? Looks like Coca's kind of leading the charge. Yeah, here we are. Coca-Cola's on here. And you notice they have the dash. Oh, Coca-Cola. Yeah, is that the one? Is that the Coca-Cola?
Coca-Cola.
And they're beating the crap out of it. So I picked Pepsi. Pepsi should be looking at Coca-Cola instead of the other way around. All right, so here is Coca. Yep, that is Coca. And by the way, you'd notice they have the dash in there, which I found real clever. Probably should have Pepsi Cola. So what we're looking for is what are they using for keywords, and not too much other than the fact that they did use it in the domain name. But I'm also looking at the title here, and for some reason my title didn't come up on this one. Well, I'm taking two bad examples here, and I thought I was going to do it. Let's go back to my Fuel Club here.
Okay, so what you should know is those are the two 900-pound gorillas in the software market. But the other thing is you'll notice that Coca-Cola, one of the first things that they and Pepsi both have on there are lots of videos.
Yeah, that's what kind of. But they also have keywords in there, and one of the things towards the end of the conversation, if we have time, I wanted to do was to go through and see how you can steal their keywords. Let's just do that right now.
They have lots of keywords in there. The thing is they're keywords you can't see. The keyword, every single one of the images on their site has a keyword attached to it. Okay, and so that's considered content. And then the alt tags of all their images have keywords attached to them. And there's all kinds of SEO that happens in the background that you cannot see in these big websites.
So that's the point I was trying to make. Is just if there's one thing you can use to kind of see it, you don't need to be too technical about. All the browsers out there have a way to see a little bit what's behind the scenes. And again, a lot of this stuff is for programmers, but if you just right-click on Internet Explorer, because everybody mostly uses Internet Explorer, you can go down and say View Source. And mine brings up a little program, so I can do more on it. Let me see if I can. Oh, it's not going to do it very easily. All right, cancel here. Hold on a second. I thought I had this set up so it would come up right away. All right. So usually it brings up Microsoft Notebook, but I happen to bring up a special editor because I like to do some funny things. And the point I want to try to make is there's a couple of things to look for. One is the title, and the other one is keywords. And let's take a look at this website, see if there's anything on here. Here's the title, and all they put on there is Coca-Cola. Well,
did you highlight it so people can see?
So is that seeable at all to you?
Yes, now it is.
Okay. The point I'm trying to make is this title is a person that is set up by your programmer who sets up your website. This should be filled with keywords. Keywords that find you and wherever you want to go. Obviously, the only real keyword here is cola. And for whatever reason, this again was a bad site, but you have what's called meta-name keywords. That's a good place to find your competitors' keywords. That's where they would store them on the website. And that's the only thing I was going to teach you, those two things on this particular site. Let's go back to the Field Club again. Maybe I can find somebody at the Field Club here. And we can just take a look at one of the key things about your competitors is they've gone through and they spent the money to figure out the keywords to get found in the internet. So why not take advantage of that? Here's the Fuel Club. I don't know what these. Again, I didn't look this one up. I didn't have time to go through these guys. Let's take a look at their source. And it brings up my goofy program. Bear with me a minute. And take a look at what they use for, because they're pretty far up there. Here's their title. Now they put code in there for some reason. So they basically wasted their title. Okay, and there's not really any keywords in there at all. So let's go down a little further and see if we can find any keywords. They didn't put any there at all. My apologies. Anyway, sometimes you'll find some people that have had their websites out for a while and they don't put keywords on there.
Okay, so if you're seeing a site, just a tip, if you're seeing a site and they don't appear to have any keywords, they probably bought their way to the top.
Yeah. Or they've had it for a long, long, long time. And like you said, just it paid for it at one time, got high, and then this higher up on that search engine, then just didn't bother doing anything because obviously there's nothing there. I'm pretty sure we had some keywords in Gary's. Yeah, we did. Oh, no. Thought we had some on there too. No. My apologies. Well, the point is you find your competitor, whatever your competitor might be, and you just take a peek at what's behind the scenes, and you can use their keywords if they're related to you to find you. Now, one of the things I was tempted to do is use my competitor's name as a keyword. Apparently, they don't like that sometimes if they find that out. And so, for instance, you're a Pepsi-Cola, and you put Coca-Cola as your keyword. Coca-Cola figures it out. They're going to send you a nasty note. So
yes.
That's something.
Because that's a trademark, and it's basically copyrighted, and you're not allowed to use it without the permission.
But for other keywords, you certainly can, and there's nothing else to stop you from that. It's just that particular case there. So let's go out here for a minute. There's something else I'd like to use about the competitors. I try to do is, as soon as I think of what my domain name is going to be, I try to get that domain name as soon as possible, even though I don't have a website up. So what do? Well, one of the sneaky little things that I've done, and again, it's cheating here, is I'll forward my website to a competitor. You go, well, you're going to help your competitor. Well, you kind of are, but guess what? They're going to help you. In other words, say, for instance, there was a really big, I'm starting a new cola for some reason. I decided it's going to be Griff's Cola. I would forward mine to Coke for a week and then to Pepsi for a week. Don't stay out there too long because you might get somebody's attention. And what you've done is you picked up some of their search engine off of the Google and other search engine people. Even though you're helping them a little bit, they're helping you a lot. So in other words, you obviously don't want to go to a competitor you really absolutely hate, but especially if you have a friendly competitor. And you don't want to keep it too long because they could get upset about that. But for like a week or two, they won't know and they won't care. And for the most part, you've taken advantage of their SEO. Kind of sneaky, but it works. I've seen it bring you up a little bit farther up the search engines. And so if I was starting a Griff's Cola, I'd forward to Coca-Cola for say a week to 10 days, and then to Pepsi Cola. And then by then I should have my website, and then I get up and running, and I can forward my domain name to my own website. So again, we skipped ahead. We went and looked at what keywords your competitors are using and how to use those. Well, once you grab those keywords off of the back of the end or to the search engines, you can use those in your content, in your blogs, and whatever to get you higher up in the search engines. Search engines each of them have ways for SEO, webmasters, and everybody to help you find keywords and help you submit your websites, what we mentioned a little before. I wanted to go through Google's a little bit since they're the big guys. And there's a couple things in here of value, regardless if you know anything about programming or not. Let's go ahead. So the easiest way for me to find them is go to webmaster. Whatever the search engine is. If you look on the website, you go dig around the website, you'll eventually find this. But I've noticed that most of them now, you just say webmaster. whatever the search engine, and they'll get you there. And the value of this is they want you to have more keywords because they make more money if you buy ads from them. So they're trying to do is encourage you to buy ads for all these keywords. You can sign in. We'll go through that a little bit, or go through the little help education. One of the things that they have in here is they'll go through what techniques that they're looking for a little bit as to how to get your search engine in. And they'll also check your, at least Google does, checks your health. What issues that Google has detected with your website, which is kind of neat. So just add our website right now. Let's go ahead and hit, let's see what they do with my domain name, if you don't mind, and you can always do the other ones later. myfieldclub.com. Add the site. Now they're going to go ahead and they're going to do a little report that they'll send to you.
Got some pretty weird sounds going on there.
Yeah, is that from me or is that from somebody else?
I don't know. I'm muted. It's coming from you, Bonnie.
I'm not saying anything or doing anything, and nothing has changed here.
Yeah, but there's a. If you look at your little screen there, you see the green lights coming up.
I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know how to mute. Tell me how to mute.
I can bring mine up here. Looks like on the sidebar here, there was a mute button I thought I saw.
Oh, wait, I see it. Okay. I'm muting my microphone now.
I think that was it. I think she gets, Bonnie gets a little bit of, I call it dirty network traffic. She's at that place where about 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock at night, people get on the internet and they kind of slow things down and confuse things. And since she's on the East Coast and I'm on the West Coast, it probably hits her first. I've noticed that there's some strange things that go on. I've had some conference calls with her in the evening hours. Anyway, let's get back to our agenda. I'm trying to get things wrapped up here within the hour. I know we're going a little past our time. The search engine, the webmaster, has some tools for finding, for helping you get your search engine, your domain name, your websites higher in the search engine. You can go there and read some more information. Again, webmaster dot whatever the search engine is, whether it be Google, Bing, Yahoo. Free stuff. Even though we've Bonnie's hit some of the bigger ways of getting SEO, there's a lot of little things out there. I'm just going to run through, to say the next 5 minutes, run through as much of them as I can here. One of the things that Google owns is Blogger. Okay, we talked about blogs. Oh, no, he wants me to sign in. Jeez. Let's try. I just want to bring up somebody's the Blogger system. Okay, since Google wants me to sign up for it, I'm just going to bypass it for a minute. But anyway, there's. Did we get a myfieldclub.blogspot.com? Okay. Well, one of the things is with the Blogger is you can set up for free blogs, very easy to use. I'm recommending you use the dashes in your keywords, and you can make multiple ones. So if you have like 2 or 3 keywords, make a blog, put 2 or 3 keywords in there, start putting once a day, at least once a week, if possible, once a month, entries on there, and do it for 1 keyword or 2 keywords or multiple keywords, and then have your blog link back to your main website. Really helps, especially if you use Blogger, because as you can see, Google owns it, and they're going to look there first. There are many, many, many other blogs. One of the blogs that Bonnie taught me was Skidoo, which is actually a lens program. It's free, but it's like a blog in itself. It used to be very high up in the search engines, It's not so high anymore, but it's a nice place to go and put a free blog if you burned out your blog spots, and create a page, add some of your blog content, maybe switch it around a little bit, and bring yourself up farther higher up in the search engines. And if you make a really good blog, these guys help you out a little bit by giving you little awards and put your poster things all over the place on other people's blogs, and it's kind of nice. So turtle cookie balls. Let's take a quick look at Skidoo blog. Again, this is just a competitor to the blogging you saw. They do. You think it looks fancy? Basically, all you do is fill in the blanks to create your blog. They put some information in. Most of the stuff is you do it. They give you templates, and you do it using their templates. This is pretty fancy as far as some of the pictures they put on there. But for the most part, this was all done with a template. People put comments. And by the way, when you put comments on anybody else's blog, make sure you put your website, your domain name, your URL. That adds to you, helps them out as well. Here's my G Plus page they put on here. Oh, why couldn't it be myfuelclub.com, .net, excuse me. So it's another good example there. Okay. Another one that's very common to use is we all know about Facebook. Well, there used to be a Facebook before Facebook. It was called MySpace. There's several other ones out there, but there's a lot of Facebook knockoffs. I've been finding that people are still using this, and people are still putting things out there, and Google kind of finds it. Not as many, obviously, as big as Facebook, but it's another way. It's a free blog. You can use it to put content out there, and it does get looked at. I don't know, we talk much about Twitter, but you have the Twitter, again, it's set up for free. What's nice about Twitter is you can put like a small entries on here, and a lot of these blogs, I do with WordPress, I do with Blogger, you can read your Twitter account on the blogs, and so in other words, you're using Twitter to update your blogs. So you send out one tweet a day, you've updated your blogs, your page has been updated, and now you found another way to, for free, get your SEO content higher up in the search engines. One more thing I was going to show you. Let's bring back to my content here. I know we're running close on time. To help you find more keywords. One of the things you can also do is use the search engines to find tools that you're looking for. So go to Google and just type in keyword generator. Free. Here's some free tools right there. The search engine is also another tool to find more tools. It's kind of clever. Same thing with free blogging. Remember, you don't have to put different content on blogs. You want to do is you can stagger it. For instance, put an article on your main blog one day, next day put it on a different blog, next day switch the paragraphs around, put it on a third blog. Again, Weebly, here's Weebly, the blog we were just at, WordPress, blog.com, again, Weebly. This is telling you where Google is going for blog content, thoughts.com. There's some best blogging sites. Go to PC Magazine. There's another. PC Magazine is a good site for finding content, in particular tools for adding other SEO techniques. Go to some place that has authority on this kind of thing. Same with digital trends. There's a lot of material out there. I think I'm getting close to the time here, so what I'm going to do is open it up for questions and answers. Bonnie, is there any way we can get this opened up here? Yeah, it sounds like
so there's no way that we can have people talk, but people are able to type into the chat Marianne asked, as far as website names, does it pay to grab .com, .net, .eu, etc.?
Okay, so what is important about .com versus the other ones? .com, number one, is most people, when they type in a website, no matter what they tell you, you tell them, they're going to put in .com first. They do it by accident. So I recommend getting a .com if you can. .net, .org, search engines look at those. .net was supposed to be for networking or group content. Org is supposed to be for organization. A lot of people still use them all as if they're .coms. They don't affect your search engine. They just affect your customers. So again, if you have to make a domain name for your search engines, make it anything you want, the suffix. But for your customers, you really want your customers to have a .com. It's just easy for them to remember. .net would be the second choice. Third choice, .org. I wouldn't go to the other ones as much unless you really desperately need that name. .us is common right now. That's kind of tough for people to remember, but people are using it. .biz is becoming more and more popular, and there's all sorts of international ones, and there'll be more coming out, but most commonly .com for giving to your customers a name.
That was all the questions we had.
Well, let's okay. Okay, one of the things that I want to mention too about .com is, or domain names, is a lot of people haven't figured out the secret of dashes. I think there's another symbol we can use besides dash. I've been using just dashes as separate my words. So one of the nice things about looking for a .com is start looking at the dashes between some words, because those are also the ones that are most likely available. That's how I accidentally just stumbled onto using dashes, because I was looking for a .com and pretty much all the words I wanted were already out there. They were just put together. I think that's. You have any other comments, questions? How about Gary? Got any questions, Gary?
No, Griff. Everything is great. I've learned so much this evening, and it's amazing how you can use the computer and all the search engines to find the tools that you need. I mean, I find businesses to contact that way, but I never bothered to think about it as a way to build your notoriety on the net. So that's really good.
Well,
and we are going to cover some more of these techniques over time. We're going to focus this next class on putting all of this stuff together. You know, you've got all these separate pieces and parts that we've gotten over the last several classes. And the next class we're going to do is how do we put it all together and make it work for us, and using techniques that Griff has shown us and some more advanced techniques that we're going to do over time. So, Griff, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bonnie. Again, apologies for slamming this thing so fast, but there was so much content. I had so much I can give you right now. And by the way, Bonnie does have an enormous amount more techniques to use, which we haven't even scratched the surface yet for making SEO very, very high up on the search engines of your website.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, I can just hear the applause in the background, Griff. I know everybody had a really great evening this evening listening to all of this, and we will have this up and available as a webinar that you can re-watch here in another couple of days. I know Gary's right in the middle, smack dab in the middle of a move, and he might be unavailable for the next couple of days, but we'll get this up here as quickly as we can, and when we do, we'll post that information up in all the appropriate places.
Great.
Cool.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay.